The estranged wife of accused murderer and Jamaican national Michael Fox testified against him in court today. Shanika Colebrook was emotional as she told the court that Fox attacked her and her boyfriend David Roll days before Christmas back on December 20th, 2009. She also testified that Fox hit Roll with a tire iron, killing him. According to Colebrook, Fox also kicked her in the face and spat on her after telling her, quote, if he couldn't have her, nobody could. The trial continues before Senior Justice John Isaacs. From tourism, you heard tourism stakeholders talk about the importance of developing the family islands and promoting them as destinations. Well, members of the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board play a vital role in realizing that goal. Altavi's Munnings tells us about the tourism minister's latest thinking on that plan.
Tourism Minister Obi Welshcombe isn't satisfied with the recently reported 2.2% increase in air arrivals to the Bahamas, nor with the fact that growth has been visible in only Abaco, Exuma, and Bimini. He's adamant there's a lot more work to do.
I cannot understand why we haven't yet caused Preacher's Cave to become one of those things that the world will want to see. Why we haven't caused yet for the Glass Window Bridge to be recognized by UNESCO and other groups around the world. And why is it that we don't talk about Andros having the third largest barrier reef in the entire world?
Minister Welshcombe told Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board members at their directors meeting at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel Wednesday afternoon that countries like Haiti and Guyana are even now proposing to accelerate their tourism industry. Couple that with unlimited domestic airlift here in the Bahamas.
If we're going to cause for airlift at a reasonable price, then certainly Bahamas Air has a step onto the plate and allow us to market the islands much more effectively. Additionally, we have to continue our dialogue with other airlines.
Minister Welshcombe is particularly concerned about the funds earmarked for the Bahamas Out Islands Promotion Board from the government. He says $750,000 just isn't enough.
We spent $750,000 on small things right here in Nassau, just assisting with events here in Nassau. Could you imagine telling our family islands that $750,000 what we're going to give you? No, we're going to lift that substantially, and we're going to lift it in this budget year. So we're going to help you do some things, and at the same time, we're going to put in place a product manager, a real product manager, who will be responsible for the gathering of what is the product in our islands.
And to do that, Minister Welshcombe announced the addition of more younger personnel at the Ministry of Tourism to particularly establish creativity and propel their social media aspect.
We're going to take a look at how we're going to be able to create a marketing tool that allows us to talk to the entire world on a continuous basis by using the internet, by using that technology that the world has given us that we have not yet taken greater advantage of.
The tourism minister expects to have further discussions with members of the Bahamas Out Islands Promotion Board in the next several weeks. He plans to identify new strategies as well as chart a course for the way forward. I'm Altavi's Munnings, ZNS News.
Today's monthly meeting of the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board featured an update on Out Island tourism statistics and talks with 9 managers from the United Kingdom on the recent 16 Weddings campaign and more.
We had some Ministry of Tourism representatives from the UK, from France, Italy, who gave a presentation on, especially they highlighted the 16 destination weddings that went on in the UK, and 2, to give us an idea regarding Europe, what the standing is in regards to traffic to the Out Islands, ways that we can increase that traffic.
Now, the tourism executive also pointed out that tourism in the Family Islands is progressing, as evidenced by high occupancy rates in Cat Island, but she says more can be done.
We have a lot of capacity in the Out Islands that's not being filled. Our average occupancy rates are still tending to be roughly in the 37% to 40% range. So we would like to get the opportunity to see and hear that our occupancy levels are like Nassau in the 80% range.
A new local soap opera delves into issues including sweethearting, the Haitian-Bahamian conflict, and crime, along with the power of love. You may have heard of it. It's called Gippy's Kingdom, and it premieres tonight. Altavi's Munnings is live from there. Good night, Alto.
Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Keishla. I'm live on the red carpet here at the Breezes Hotel in Cable Beach, where the countdown is on to the season premiere of Gippy's Kingdom. It's the much anticipated Bahamian soap opera, and I know, like you, I'm really wondering too what it's all about. And joining me to give us all the details is the soap opera's writer, co-producer, and director, familiar face Dr. Ian Strawn. And Dr. Strawn, what really is Gippy's Kingdom all about?
It's about Bahamians. It's celebrating Bahamian life, and that's the good and the bad. So it's about a Bahamian family, the Gibsons, and each member of the family has their own drama. They fall in love, they get heartbroken, they have dreams, all of the things that we go through every day. And so it was an opportunity for us to depict Bahamian life for Bahamians. And so this is our gift to the Bahamian people. We're very, very excited. We've gotten so much anticipation and excitement before the first episode, so we just can't wait for this to get started.
Dr. Strawn, what inspired you to create this soap opera for Bahamians?
Well, I've always been a writer and tried to tell Bahamian stories, and the technology is now caught up. And so we can make TV, soap operas, narrative stories. And no one had done it. I wanted the challenge. I found some young people who were very talented who wanted to come on board with me. And so we accepted the challenge, and we hope that there'll be others to come after us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Strawn. That's Dr. Ian Strawn, the director, co-producer, and writer for Gippy's Kingdom. The season premiere will be aired live right here on ZNS TV 13. We encourage you to stay tuned. Reporting live from the Breezes Hotel, I'm Altaviz Munnings, ZNS News.
All right, thanks, Alta. We're looking forward to it. Turning now to the budget debate. Leading off debate last evening in the House was MP for Marco City, Mr. Greg Moss, who suggested several measures, including tax reform, as proposed by the government. He admitted that all political parties contributed to the debt level in the country, but he said the former administration made things worse. He also touched on the high prime rate of banks and said it must be reduced to stimulate economic growth. He also called for jurisdictions to be established for mortgage and housing matters and for legislation guiding the transfer of mortgages to be enacted.
If I have to pay for a mortgage, then I should be free to get another loan to pay that lender out. Without the disincentive of having to pay additional legal fees and additional stamp duties and so on, I shouldn't have to do that. That approach would undoubtedly lead to the creation of competition between the banks to not only get a mortgage, but to keep the mortgage. Now it's not so. You go and most people, their single most substantial investment is their home. And they are able to barely save the money for that legal fee and that stamp duty once in their lifetime. And having saved it and having gotten the mortgage, they are then at the mercy of the bank. The bank can do anything it wants because they cannot accumulate that money again. But competition is essential in every facet of the economy.
Promoting a clean, healthy, and green environment is the focus of Minister for the Environment and Housing, Kenred Dorsett. Minister Dorsett is outlining the plans for his ministry, said there'll be special focus on the creation of green spaces and parks in every constituency. He added that there will also be an effort to reduce the use of fossil fuels and the exploration of alternative energy sources. He also addressed the late garbage collection on the island. While rain did play a factor, Minister Dorsett said the lack of vehicles also presented a challenge.
When we came to office, Mr. Speaker, out of a fleet of 22 trucks, only 12 were operational. Wow. That's right, Mr. Speaker, almost 50% of the garbage trucks were not operational. And despite the fact that the fleet was only operating at almost 50% capacity, the former administration did not order new trucks. This has forced the DEHS to augment its collection services through private collection providers. However, Mr. Speaker, it is clearly apparent, in my opinion, that the former administration neglected the solid waste division of the Department of Environmental Health Services, and they neglected it, I believe, in an attempt to privatize solid waste collection in New Providence.
The government, he said, is working with the Department of Environmental Health to increase the frequency of collection and the implementation of a proper schedule. And if you're wondering about the government's stance on oil exploration,
relates to oil exploration in the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas takes the view that this country belongs to all of us, and as such, the decision on whether or not to explore for oil should be a collective decision. We are not the FNM. We will not make decisions of such magnitude that are against the wishes of the majority of Bahamians. Mr. Speaker, I am sure that you remember the protests against the BTC sale, but the one-man ban Bahamians need not apply former administration did it anyway. Mr. Speaker, the protection of our environment is not solely a government responsibility. The public must become full participants in maintaining the health and well-being of their communities. Accordingly, there continues to be a need to sensitize all residents to the role private citizens play in this process.
Speaking to the housing challenges, Mr. Dorsett said some critical decisions will have to be made regarding the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation. Before debate began yesterday, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Michael Halkitis, sought to clarify salaries paid to ministers of state. Here's what he had to say.
I wanted to bring some clarification on an issue that was raised by several members. And I would just like to say that in the estimates of expenditure that we are debating for 2012-2013, the salary for ministers of state is listed as $66,000 per annum, the same as ministers with portfolio. It is the intention of the government that in 2012-2013, the salaries of ministers of state will remain at the current level of $60,000. And at the appropriate time in this debate, the necessary amendments will be made to the bill to reflect the $60,000 salary for ministers of state. And finally, I would just like to inform that no minister of state has been paid at the level of $66,000. Those who have been paid already have been paid at the level of $60,000.
The Free National Movement leader, Dr. Hubert Minnis, has spoken to the number of murders which have taken place. He said it's been the bloodiest month with 20 murders in the month of May. On another issue, he once again defended the previous administration for the cost overruns associated with the road project.
We must be resolute in tough sentences to bring law and order back into our Bahamas. This is not the time for us to go soft on crime. We cannot turn back now. Urban renewal. Yes, urban renewal. But we must go back to basics. The basic traffic violator. You cannot talk about zero tolerance when individuals drive cars violating our traffic laws.
Well, the former health minister also warned the government about its plans for comprehensive health insurance. He says it won't be affordable if it's not done in a phased way. He also warned them about the dangers of oil exploration in the absence of proper regulations.
Before embarking on oil drilling, only thing I ask is that proper regulations be in place. Do not ask the Bahamian people to make a decision on oil drilling through a referendum without the regulations in place. Without proper regulations, any spillage can destroy 70 to 75% of our jobs. Our jobs are tourism related, marine related. The new dredge harbor that we dredged for the cruise ships to come in will be destroyed. The new straw market that we just finished would be destroyed. The forts would be destroyed. Bama, that's going on now, will be destroyed.
Welcome to another edition of Business Speed. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Let's take a look at what's making business news today. Members of the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants preparing to attend the 2012 Caribbean Conference of Accountants, pioneered by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of the Caribbean. It's all set for June 21st through 23rd in St. John's, Antigua, under the theme Playing to Win, Bowling Over the Challenges. The conference offers 2 days of technical sessions to be led by highly recognized regional and international experts who will examine increasing challenges in the accounting field. Following a successful fast-paced sales uptake in the first phase of Charlottesville in 2004, developer Dale Bronstein partnered with businessman Dana Wells and the Fidelity Group in 2006 and broke ground on the final phase, the townhomes of Turnberry. All 257 lots have now been sold, and 70 of the 80 townhomes are now occupied. And a regional business, Pegasus Hotels of Jamaica, completed its transition to private ownership with the delisting of the company's shares. The hotel company, which owns the Jamaica Pegasus, exits the stock market after posting one of its worst financial years. Remember, you can send us an email or join us on www.znsbahamas.com or become our friend on ZNS's official Facebook page.
And that will end tonight's edition of Business Beat. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Altaviz Moniz.
It's time for today's Doctor's Hospital Health Tip. Have you been feeling bloated and gassy for the past couple of months, especially after eating fried or other fatty foods? Do you suffer bouts of pain in the upper right side of your abdomen that lasts for up to several hours? Symptoms like that could be caused by stones in the gallbladder. More than 16 million people have gallstones. For some, gallstones cause no problems, no symptoms. In others, stones cause severe pain or even require surgery. The most common type of gallstone consists of cholesterol, the same fat that tends to clog coronary arteries in many people. Factors that invite gallstones to form include a family history of gallbladder disease, obesity, and/or very rapid weight loss, middle age, being female, pregnancy, taking estrogen, diabetes, eating a diet high in cholesterol-rich foods, diseases of the small intestine. Treatments for gallstones range from medications to dissolve the stones, surgery to remove the gallbladder, or a low-fat diet to reduce contractions of the gallbladder, thus limiting pain and possibly keeping more stones from forming. Treatment may involve the use of guided sound waves to dissolve the stones. Dietary measures to discourage stones from forming include the following. Follow a high-fiber, low-fat, low-cholesterol diet. Get to and stay at your ideal body weight. If you're overweight, eat right and exercise to start losing weight slowly. 1 to 2 pounds loss a week is ideal.